where we use to discuss real life problems that affect real people in real life. Today we're going to discuss knife and gun crime, which is affecting our community vastly all over the UK. So I thank Sarah for coming along to discuss this delicate issue with us. So welcome Sarah to Street Education.
Hello.
And thank you for coming along. Now first of all I want to discuss with you and find out a little bit about your son. You know, if you could tell me a bit about him, his name, his age, what kind of things he liked.
Okay, Daniel Mark Williams, he was born June the 5th, 1985. Passed away March the 9th, 2006 due to knife crime. Daniel was happy-go-lucky. His major thing in life was food. He was a foodie. He did plan to go back to uni to do his cookery course, but obviously he never got there. He actually died looking for food, as it happens. They actually went up there the day after and found the food that the police didn't, they seemed to forget, that he eventually went out to buy. But yes, he was happy-go-lucky lad, got on with everybody. He didn't hold no malice to anybody, as far as I was aware. Everybody loved him and enjoyed his company, so I really didn't understand why he had to die the way he died.
Okay. So the last time you saw Daniel, I don't know if you've seen him on the same day that he died or
The day before.
the day before. What was happening? You know, how was your relationship that day? What was he doing that day?
Basically, I was poorly. I was actually in bed. I had flu real bad, and he actually did have some issues with the person who took his life, but I wasn't aware of that until after the event. He came to me on the Thursday morning, and he was actually crying. He says, "Mum, I'm fed up. I want to move from where I'm living and blah blah blah." So I said to him, I said, "Oh, don't worry, sweetheart. We'll get something sorted." And we actually did go to an housing association in town, and we was planning to actually go view a property on the day that he actually passed away. So I made a phone call from home to book a viewing. He left. The last time I seen him, he actually got a phone call and he says, "Mum, just going to go and check a ute up the road. I'll see you later." I said, "Okay, sweetheart," and that was about 11 o'clock. And the next time I saw him was on a slab.
That must have been terrible for you. I just don't know what to really say, because as a mother I couldn't imagine that, you know, going through something like that. So when you got to the hospital, what was your first thoughts in your mind? What did you think?
Well, I had to go to Leicester Royal Infirmary because the guy who performs the autopsies, there's only Alan Chipman, there was only one in Nottinghamshire, so it was in thing. On the way there, it was me, my brother and his godmother. My mind was in limbo because at the time when I actually got the phone call that he had died, it was like 3:30 in the morning. It wasn't the police because at the time everything was still heated up. It was a friend who had been out with them the night before, and they was in a shop on Alfton Road and actually heard what had happened and said, "Oh, Willie had been stabbed." And I got this phone call from one of his girl friends, as in a friend, boyfriend. And the thing is, there's two Daniel Williams in Radford, and there's actually one that's on Independence Street. So when they says, "Oh, Daniel's been stabbed," and I says, "Nah, can't be Daniel." I says, "Careful, you haven't got
the wrong one, yeah.
Because it's happened before."
Yeah.
So I left it a good couple of hours, and I kept getting these phone calls. "Sarah, go and see if Daniel's alright." So I says, "Look, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If I know Daniel, he'll be sleeping dead as a door now. You don't wait for glory." But anyway, like I said, you know, I went down. I actually ended up walking down there 4 o'clock in the morning, seeing all the commotion, seeing the tent and everything. Bust through the tape to go around to his flat because they wouldn't let me through. So there's been an incident. And the last thing I remember was when the police run down from where it actually happened, and they shouted my name out. So I'm saying to myself, "Well, how did they know my name?" And then I woke up on my settee. So from me getting there to me getting back, I don't know what happened.
It's just a blur.
Yeah, I must have collapsed when they called me, because they called my name out. It says I was walking up towards the flats, towards Pine View.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why do you know my name? You shouldn't know my name because you don't know me. I'm just come here, you know. Anyway, yeah. So that was the Friday. The Saturday, the police come to the police were in the house over the weekend. I said to them, "Look, I demand to see my son." I said, "Where is he?" He said, "He's in Leicester." I said, "It's either he comes there or I go there. Which one?" So they drove me across to Leicester. Now then, when I got into the hospital, I sat there waiting while they prepared him. And it was like, it was a blur. I thought, what am I doing here? still didn't believe he was dead, and I wouldn't believe it until I seen his body. Anyway, when we got in there, it was like a horror story because I was walking in there, but I was, like a force that's holding you back. Yeah. It's like I wanted to go towards him, I didn't want to go towards him. I was scared that it was actually him. And when I actually walked to the table and seen him lying there with the same hairstyle that he had his hair cut the day before, it looked like he was fast asleep. He was the prettiest thing, like, he was like an angel. And I looked and my sister is gone with the death, and my sister's really, there's our boy, that's our boy. And I collapsed, I broke down. As I collapsed, I kind of pulled the sheet with me and pulled it off, and I seen all the threads on him. And it just messed me up. I had to come out, just messed me up. I said, I can't see no more. That's what so the doctor says, can you confirm? I said, yeah, it's my son, I had to come out. And then I demanded his body to be taken to Nottingham. I says, where I go, he goes. So I'm not leaving here till my son leaves here.
So did they take him back to Nottingham?
Yeah. He says, where do you want him? I says, Limbs. So I phoned Limbs and I says, Mrs. Wallace, blah, 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 blah. He says, yes, we'll accept him. And took it from there, really.
So, without mentioning any names, because I don't really want any names to be mentioned, did you know the people that did this to your son at the time?
No, I didn't know. I know of the family, but I didn't know the actual person in question.
Yeah. And how did you feel when you went to court and you first saw the person that took your son's life?
The same way I feel now. I've still got mixed emotions because even though you hear about these things on TV, you hear them on the news, and you hear people talk about it, when it actually happens to you, it is very surreal. And even now I'm sat here now, I still don't believe he's gone because you just don't expect it to happen to your own.
Yeah. So
when I seen him, I kind of felt sorry for him, thinking, God, you've committed this crime, and I do believe you didn't mean to do it. Some parts of him looked remorseful, some parts didn't. But at the end of the day, I was just sat there. I mean, people said, Sarah, you shouldn't have gone. I said, no, I had to see the person who took my son's life. Just to see his expression, see what he was thinking, see what a person who's taken somebody's life looks like. Yeah. And it didn't look like anything. I can't say it looked happy, I can't say it looked like it just didn't look like anything. It was something that I'd never want to experience again. I hope God I don't. But it was hard doing it, but I had to. I felt like that was my final journey toward, to semi-closing the door on my son's life.
Because I think with things like this, it not only affects your family, it also affects the other person and their family. So how did that family and your family interact? Was there any forgiveness, anybody apologising, or was it hostility between the two families?
Where me and his mum's concerned, she was just looking on her, you'd have thought it was her that had lost a child. She's very, very distraught. I think it's harder for a parent of the child that has committed the crime more than it's harder than the parent of the child that has lost their life. Because she was very, very, very distraught, and actually my mum says to me, she goes, Sarah, give her a hug. I says, I will do, Mum, I will do. And the simple fact is, we only carry our children, and we give birth to them. Whatever they choose to do outside their life is their doing, it's not our doing. So I can't be upset with his mother because it wasn't her who put the knife through my son's heart, it was her son. She only gave birth to him. So for that, and when I did approach her, she was very, very bewildered. She was very shocked, as if to say, God, she thought I was going to go up to her and probably punch her or something, but no, I was actually in tears, and I says, I called her name and I says to her, so I'm sorry you had to witness all of this, I'm sorry you've lost your son, because you have lost your son as well.
Yes, because when things like this happen, I think both parents lose a son, because you lost your son, you never see your son again, but she's lost her son to the system, and then sometimes do your son, with the system, that person could then go on to probably sometimes take their own life. They could end up on drugs. They could end up their life being taken back by some other way in life. It's just a vicious circle. So I just think that for everybody concerned, family and friends, it affects everybody.
Yes, it does.
So, in this situation, what messages do you have to give out to, young people who may be thinking about, they may be in some argument, having some beef with somebody out there, what message do you have to say to these young people?
A lot of these children, when they say, oh, I'm going to murk you, it's just a figure of speech. It's something that makes them look good, makes them look big. Especially if they're in a gang, if they've got a couple of friends that they flex around and they put themselves out there to be this type of person, and then because we've all done it, we've always said, yeah, if anything happened, I'd do this. But then when it does happen, you turn into a little mouse. No, try and do the right thing. Don't portray yourself out there as something big, because we're all the same, we're all one person, and we've all been put on land to do one thing, is to live and love and live life. And nobody's greater than the next person. So you don't have to prove you don't have to prove yourself by using a weapon. You know, there's greater things that there's the love that is out there for us to learn and to interact with is so great. It's surreal. So put down the knife, put down the gun, love one another, react to one another, and teach one another.
Yeah, but in a way it's easier said than done, because the society and the system that we live in, through the music, through the media, through the glamorization of drugs, you know, it's very hard for the young people out there, because this world is set up for them to hate on each other, you know. So I'm a very conscious person, and spirituality, you know, you can have demonic thoughts. So, you know, in this world, someone could tread on your toe, but because the system, the way they set you up, you want to fight someone because they've tread on your toe. So it's a bit hard, you know, when the music glamorizes, the movies glamorizes, you know, crime, gun crime, knife crime. So how then do we, you know, tell our young people that this is not the way, when society is showing them that this is the way?
Well, being as the music has put it into their head, the music can take it out of their head.
Very true.
Yeah,
I think it starts really
because in our day we never had the type of music that they've got today. Is that they're living their life according to the type of music today. We're living our life to the type of music that we was listening to, and our type of music wasn't to do with guns, knives, drugs, or sex or anything like that. So it's all to do with the music.
And then we have to look at all these rap artists out there, you know, in the UK as well, because that's where we are, so I like to focus on the UK. A lot of the rap artists, a lot of the young youths, they follow you, they idolise you, they're role models. And I think it goes back to them, you know, thinking what we rap about should be very important, and they have to start rapping on a more positive and not a negative, because what they say in their music affects the young people.
That's right.
So they play a big part in what kind of music they're doing out there. Because at the end of the day, if young people, you know, sometimes rap artists, they have beef against each other in music. You know, this rap artist is hating on that rap artist. So this helps with the fueling, the fire with the young people, if they're seeing that music and they're seeing that. So I think the rap artist needs to start thinking about it and say, how can we help as a community? Because when this happens, everybody's crying, it affects everybody, but we have to look, where is the root? Where is it all stemming from? And like I said, it's through music and it's through TV programs and stuff. So at the end of the day, we as mothers as well, you know, if we know that our children are in problems with another child, I think we should come together as parents and sit down and try to put a crush to it before it escalates into something else.
You never know how bad something is until it happens. I mean, my son had a very big issue with the person involved who took his life, and I was only made aware of this after the event. Now, youths of today, they need to learn to talk to our elders, even though, you know, we may be 50 or 60, we may be getting old and decrepit, but we do know about life. We've been there, we've done that. You'd be surprised how much we know about what they're going through. So if I only wish that Daniel had come forward to me and said, Mom, I've got this issue, how do I address it? Blah, blah, blah. And then probably we would have been able to make an headway, and probably he would have still been here, but probably. I would just like to think that I could help another youth who can say, or Mom, or Dad, or even a friend, go to a friend and say, look, I've got this beef going on, how do I address it? It's not all about picking up a weapon to deal with it, because that's the end of your life, that's the end of their life, that's the end of everybody's life.
Yes, true.
It is.
In London at the moment, I know that they've got a major problem in there. I spoke to someone the other day, they're saying 7 people have been stabbed since this week. You know, it's happening outside the schools. It's just basically, I just think it's a very serious problem that we need to deal with as a community, because it's our own people killing our own, you know. So do you think, what suggestions do you think that we can do to move this thing forward as a mother? You know, you lost your child.
Well, we've done quite a lot. I mean, since 2006, there's been quite a lot of stabbings. There's been umpteen things that have been tried out, but at the end of the day, my solution is stop and search. If they are found with a weapon, instant straight to jail, no passing, going, no collecting $200 or pounds or whatever. They need to know that this thing is real. It's not no cartoon thing, it's not a joke thing, it's real. And also they need to implement curfew times. Once you've been caught with a weapon, curfew times. Being as you want to take the life of somebody, then we're going to take your life, we'll get you off the street. Stay in the house, come off the internet, because that's what's causing the main problem. It's all about, I've always put it down to society. Like I said, back in our days, we didn't have things like mobile phones, the internet, anything like that, and we did absolutely fine. So the next generation need to understand it's not all about the gadgets in life. This is what's causing the main problem. But I believe they should implement now some very strict changes to try and combat what's going on the street.
Sometimes I don't think that it's set out to help our young people, and I think that we as a community need to start governing our own young people and putting things into place, because if we're not relying on the system, they fail us every day. So for me, it's not about putting our young people, because some of them are going to come out worse than they went in. So I think it's about us stopping it from happening, or putting something in place as a community. Maybe we can get our own boot camp going on, or we can build something ourselves as a community that, you know, back in Africa, back in the, you know, the ancient days, if you watch programs like Roots, there was a time where the young people had to cross over into manhood. So when they reached a certain age, they went away for a couple of weeks and they returned men. So I think we should have something implemented in our community where we can get elder guys together, where we can say, okay, when a youth reaches 14 or something, then we set, you know, take them away for 2 weeks and start mentoring them and training them how to transition into men. Because we cannot sit down and rely on the school system, on the TV, on the radio to be our role models. We need black men to come forward and say, you know what, I've got a couple of hours to spare, I will be a role model to a child, and we can implement some things. We have to start looking after our own.
How do you get them to come forward?
Well, we have to start doing workshops, start advertising, start doing programs. We need to find people, because there must be people out there who want to, you know, better our community and better our young people. So we have to start finding like-minded people who are on the same, you know, there's many people who's lost their children, you know, many people out there who want to see change. So, you know, street education is a forum that if you want to see change, I'm going to leave a phone number at the end. You can contact us, we can interview you, because it's time that we need to implement change. We cannot sit down and watch every day we lose a life, because it's a precious thing, and we cannot, you know, I have to, you know, respect going out to you because you've been doing a lot since your son's died. You've held it together. I know it's really hard because you're going through things every single day, but you're still fighting the cause for your son, and I know that your son will be very proud of you. Yeah, because he lives on through you every single day. He lives on. And, you know, you're doing a great thing for the community, you know, even by, you know, coming here and speaking, another mother can see your pain, what you've gone through, and especially another child, because I think it's important for the victim, you know, the actual person that took the life to understand what you are doing to another parent or to another family.
Yeah, I think also, they need to see the damage that they've done.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's the reason why a lot of them are taking it up more, taking up the gun and the knife more, because it's alright, they're committing the crime, but they're not seeing the result of their actions, and I think they need to see that.
Definitely, they need to see
it needs to go deep, it needs to go further now. They actually need to see what they've done, they need to see what we're going through, because we see what they've done, and it's very harrowing.
Yeah. But we're all one family, we're all brothers, we're all sisters, we're all one family. But you know, the system, what they're doing a good job, which is sad to say, that they've got us killing each other, one in jail and one under the ground. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't be making their life easy. We should be building together as a community, working with our brothers and sisters, and building up, setting up businesses, helping each other, because we're one big family. The war is not against each other, it's against them. You know, so it's time for us to wake up as people and just come together and unite.
My life has changed completely. It's completely been turned around. I don't interact with many people. Keep myself to myself. I'm subdued. It's just made me a shadow of myself. Because I'm looking for answers, I'm searching for question and answers. Why I did this and why me? Why am I going through so much in such a at such a young age in my life? The only thing that's comforting is the fact of knowing that I'm not alone. You know, there are many other mothers who are suffering in silence the same way as me. It does actually help to speak out, like things like today. It does actually help, and I do advise other parents who are suffering like me. I know plenty mothers who are worse off than me. Their sons died in the same way, but they're just not handling it as well as I am. But I've got the love and support of my people and family and friends around me. But it has changed. It has changed dramatically, but it's changed for the better. It's opened up my eyes to see the real meaning of life and how it should be preserved and cared for, basically.
I just want to say as well to young people out there, if you're having any beef or any problems out there, I think it's, you need to just think about your life and how important and how precious a life is, because that split second that you make that decision to take a life, it will ruin the rest of your life forever. That split second, you just need to stop and think, because life is so precious and life is there to be enjoyed. And for someone to just take you away, lock you up, incarcerated, you lose your dignity, your self-esteem. You have to look at the bigger picture. Just don't think, I'm going to take this person's life. Or sometimes you don't even think that. Sometimes you just may be in a situation where you just do something at the spur of the minute. But I'm urging you to stop and think. Think first in every single decision, everything that you think. Think about your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your friends, the next person. Just seriously think, because to be taken away and to be locked up, I think at that time when that door slams and you realise I've got 25 years, I've got 30 years, it's too late. And at that time, it's a serious thing, because that's when it's going to sink in. And I know that people must be remorseful. People must think. And sometimes it has an effect where it can make you go on to, like I said before, go on to taking drugs. Because maybe you can't deal with the fact that you took someone's life. Their vision of that person, of that incident may flash back onto you. And you may not be able to sleep. You may not be able to eat. So you can then become dependent on drugs. You then can have mental health, and go on to have a breakdown or something. You then maybe go on to even want to take your own life, because you may not be able to even live with the thought that you took someone's life. So there's a great impact on that. It can affect your mother. Your mother could have a breakdown. Everybody. You have to think of the bigger picture. Do not think that, for 1 second it doesn't affect a lot of people. So generally, I just want to send a message, and also to the mothers and the fathers and the uncles and the aunties and the nieces. Sometimes we have our young people will come to us and they may ask us something. We have to be wise in what we say to them. They may come to advice. If they're having a beef or arguments with someone, don't add fuel to it. Don't encourage and say, yes, good, here, I will help you out if you need my help, or talk to them with wisdom, because later on when they do make that decision, sometimes you have to look back and you say, I should have gave better advice to my young person, because what we say to them, they may go on and that could affect the rest of their life. So always give positive advice that will better their future and not worsen their future. You know, and sometimes as parents and brothers and sisters and, you know, family members, we have to also look out and think, you know, when your child comes home, check their behaviour, check what's going on, ask them if they're all right. And if we do think that they're having problems with other people out the street, as parents, we need to try and find out, even if it's secretly, and get together as parents and try and crush it before something happens, because like I said, it affects the whole community. There's an old African proverb is, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think it's time that we come together and be that village and raise our children together, because we are so much more. So before we go, I would just like to say thank you, Sarah, for coming out and sharing all your experiences with us, because like I said, she's still going through it. Even though you see her sitting there, trust me, she's still going through it day to day, and she will be going through it till the day that she leaves this earth. But like I said, Sarah, your son is very proud of you in the spirit realm. He's still watching, he's still looking over you, still guiding you, and he lives on through you and your family members, because, you know, your daughter's doing very well, and you should be very proud of your daughter. And that, you know, they're doing very well. So I just want to thank you for coming to Street Education today. And I want, you know, to ask any viewers out there, if there's anything that you've got to say, any subjects that you want to talk about, you're welcome to come and be on this show. You just need to contact us on 079 79 610 569. That's 079 79 610 569. Street Education is here to educate the street into a better tomorrow for our people. So, you know, take use of this forum. It's here for you, because we come to give more love, more life and more unity. Thank you for joining us today. Street Education.
Our people are poor, and you know damn real nobody wants to be poor. This play is going to show how the pigs react when the people start to take community control over what belongs to them and liberate it back.